Then alpha. They're the bosses.
Hey, Chris Agocha came in. Chris Agocha is in the waiting room.
You're online now. We're streaming.
Sure. If you have to say, this is the best tone we've ever used. I love it.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to today's show on Oche Kitchen discussion. It's been an interesting conversation with so many comments in the background from many people. Gen Z, Gen Z, Gen Z. Okay. I hope before the end of the show, we'll have some Gen Zs step in. And I think most of us here are parents to Gen Zs. I know when people will be wondering, like when with Gen Z. Gen Z, of course, the world has segmented every generation and according to the attributes and the behavior and everything that goes with it. So we're talking about the Gen Z, and the Gen Z are people born between 1997 and 2012. People born within this generation are called the Generation Z, otherwise known as Gen Z. Gen Z are known for working, shopping, dating, and making friends online. With social media. They consider themselves open-minded. We'll find out, we'll talk about more about them today and the common characteristics. OJ, can I help you pronounce that word?
Characteristics.
Thank you very much, my darling. They're money-driven and ambitious. They're prone to anxiety. Yes, I know that one. They are known to set boundaries. They are avid gamers. They're nostalgic, and they use social media in a unique way. So that brings us into today's show and the questions. Again, over-dependence and addiction to technology ranked high on the problem faced by the young people, by this Generation Z people. So the question one today is it too late to help them? Clearly, we know that excessive use or dependence on social media and the internet can create anxiety. Does it mean that it's this behavior that is making them prone to anxiety, or naturally they're prone to anxiety and this is not even helping matters? I could hear from anybody who is willing to talk. Is it too late to help them deal with this issue?
If I might say something, unless it's an addiction, I don't think there's anything to help. Because when we were growing up, even us wanting to be outside was a taboo too. We used to sneak outside. They will time you. You got outside. I say, this one, you're always outside, hooking on easy and everything. They'll be dragging you inside. You know what I mean? And now we want our kids to be outside. So I think I think any generation, whatever we wanted to do, our parents didn't want us to do it. They wanted to cover us. They wanted to, put a time limit to it and everything. So I think so far they're using these gadgets. They're doing all these things, and just people, they like most of them make money online, just gaming. Some of those kids you see just doing games on YouTube and everything, they're making money, they're getting paid. So they stay home and they work smart and not hard. They stay home and make money. So except if somebody needs help, which I assume would be maybe addiction or something, but otherwise I think they're good.
Yeah,
most part.
research has shown that the addiction and overdependence on to technology
Yes.
is a problem
Yes.
for them. So what can we do?
For anybody.
No, we're talking about them, not us. We can control our head sometimes.
But I'm saying not doing in most times they're not doing in excess what we didn't do in excess. You know what I mean? When you're playing, you don't want to come back inside. You know, when you're riding bicycle, you want to ride back or hill and not come back. And they'll be dragging you. You know, so same thing. Now they are indoors,
Let's hear from Emeka. Emeka, what do you think?
Yeah, this is Emeka. Yeah, thanks. I just want to echo. I want to echo what I
yes,
did.
times 10 years.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Who be this? I beg. Come on, yeah, this Moscow.
It's Benson.
Okay. All right. I wish everybody a happy new year, my dear.
Happy new year to you too.
I just want to echo what I just said, right? We can't take this away from them. This is something they are actually born with. Some of us that are not Gen Z are also getting into it. I just said something about when we were younger, right? We were always outside playing, right? And our parents wanted us to stay inside. Now we are concerned and worried about our kids staying indoors a lot. We want them to go out. So, but the point I'm trying to make is that it will be an issue of control and education.
Yes.
We can get addicted to a lot of things. It's just the overuse and the abuse. So what we need to do, for those of us that are Gen Z parents, you know, is to educate them and tell them what is good or bad. What is good and bad, and what they should do or what they should not do. For me, every of my kids, I gave them a phone at the age of 6, 7, 8. I wanted them to get used to it, but I was controlling their usage, because taking it away completely from them, it will look as if they are missing something. But when they grow with it, they know they are not missing anything. Exactly. Let me go back to when we are growing up. You know, most of those kids, I don't know whether you follow, that their parents restricted from going out. When they had the opportunity,
they overdo things, yeah.
They overdo things. So, and what I'm trying to say is about control. Then the other thing is, there's an advantage, speaking from an IT perspective, as an IT manager and professional, the world is going information technology. And information technology is the skill, the next skill that is going to overtake everything coming up. Robotics, artificial intelligence, cybersecurity, cloud computing. So the more they get used to all these electronic gadgets, whether it's on social media or anything, the more easier it will be for them to transit into this new profession that is coming up. So, but we need to be able to control them, monitor what they are doing online, advise them, and also watch if there is any psychological or emotional thing they are going through, like cyberbullying. So those are the things that we need to be careful of. But give it to them, monitor them, control them, advise them. That is what I can say. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Yeah. Edna, do you want to say something about it?
No, as yet.
You get the question though.
Yeah, I think you're talking about the IT.
Yeah, over dependence and addiction to technology. Yeah.
Yes, I would say I think it all depends on how you look at it as a parent. I can give an example of my son. I've got a 14-year-old, and I think he has had a phone like the previous speaker was talking about, saying he's given his phone to the children at an earlier age, and I would agree with that, because even myself, my son has had his phone from the age of 9, and I've always controlled on the usage of phone, and with him, I think he's learned quite a lot using that phone, because he's helped himself, even just on the games and all. He's helped himself to kind of really develop himself into computer science, like in terms of coding. So if he didn't have that technology at that age, I don't think he would have managed to get to the stage at where he is now. He's now doing his year 10, and he's been one of the best students in his computer science. So I think that kind of helped him. So it's a matter of controlling the children, seeing what they are doing, and always have access to the internet, having them not just have the phones with password locked and everything, but a parent should be there to control it. I think that's the way I would look at it.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you, Esther. Edna, sorry.
Edna. Esty, I know you're just joining. Chris, do you want to say something? Oh, OJ. Okay, Chris, go ahead.
Is that my Chris?
Yes, you're the only Chris here.
Oh, okay. Happy New Year to
New Year.
everyone.
Happy New
Year.
Year to you, sir.
I think this is I've been missing in action. But I made a conscious
Mama, check your
effort.
message.
I made a conscious effort to be here today. Yeah.
We appreciate that.
Thank you. So what was the question, or what are you? Because I'm trying to get
Overdependence on technology and addiction to technology has ranked high as a problem faced by the Generation Z. Is it too late for us to help them now? What's your view on that? Yeah.
I don't see anything, I don't think, to me, it has gotten to overdependence on technology. We are all, even the Gen A, we are all over
Even the baby boomers, some baby boomers.
This is a time we are in now. I know that they say too much of everything is bad, but they have to have a balance. I think technology these days has done more good than harm. Before, traditionally, it's either you're an engineer, a doctor, or a lawyer that you make money. I was watching somebody's interview, I think a few days ago, this Country Wayne, I don't know, most of you might know him. The guy was saying in the last 3 years, he has made over $20 million from social media, use of social media, because he's doing skits and he monetized his handle.
Yes, sir.
And you imagine 3 years ago, he has made over 20 from social media, from things, that they're trying to push us away from.
It's Country Wayne?
Yes, Country Wayne, yes, the comedian based in Atlanta.
Yeah, I saw the interview.
So I pitched myself, I think I sent that skit to most people, to see that we are laboring. Success now is no longer based on those traditional methods. Some people from playing games, they can be an expert, they can go viral and they make millions, and some people live off that. So as long as they don't use it to go to, to fall prey to scammers, we have to guide them to be able to make decisions. They don't share, something that is private, especially regarding to their accounts, so that somebody can use it. They stay away and leave the porn site or Pornhub for us, the Gen A. So
how they going to anyway. Hey, Julie, happy New Year.
If none of that is happening and they are putting it into good use, we should allow them. We all are victims of those if we want to control. But there's no way you can skate around it. Everything now. The problem now is, like in the legal profession, you can see all this AI stuff where AI can write your briefs, can write your case. It's taking everything away from us. So if you have an agreement, if you have contract, you just key in AI, it will draft everything for you. So it's something that we cannot help.
So you're indirectly converting to Gen Z then?
All we can do is to guide them, so that they can't fall into all these traps that are out there, because there are preys out there are poachers out there. As long as we guide them, and then make sure that they are not sacrificing, at least they still have to get the formal education while they are doing that. But there's no way we can really, deprive them the use of that. So,
All right.
so as
Thanks,
long
Julie.
as we guide them appropriately, I think it's fine to let them be.
Okay.
I
OJ,
think Julie says she has a question.
Julie. Where's Julie?
Yeah.
Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, everyone.
Hi,
Everyone.
Jules.
Hi, Julie.
Yeah, good
Happy New
evening.
Year.
Same to you.
Okay, so
You did
I'll
Dubai.
speak
This one,
from
I did see Burj Khalifa.
my darling. Ewepụrụ m ihu m.
Okay, no wahala.
No,
Go
but
ahead.
I'm in Nigeria. I'm in Nigeria.
Okay.
So I'll from experience, my own experience, and I tried to nip it early. My son got addicted. He was very good, very techy, but he got addicted to all these gadgets and devices, and he stopped paying attention to books. Then I noticed he's a very quiet person. I noticed he started being aggressive towards his younger ones. He didn't want to do things with family. He didn't want to go out and things. And I discussed it with his IT teacher, who said he was very good, but he didn't want to use it for in the productive way. It was more of
Yeah.
playing games. He'll be
Yeah.
on PS that's from morning till night. He doesn't want to eat. He doesn't want, so I had to start putting restrictions. And then I put Custodio on his devices and all that. I started monitoring a lot of his things. And then there was this spyware that his teacher in school introduced me to. So I was able to start monitoring his chats too. And then I think I could lock down hours he could use his devices for. He's just 12, so I could control those things. So I think parents need to be now he's okay, he's back to his old self. But imagine if I didn't nip it early. I would have had a child that probably would go overboard, because the IT teacher says, oh, he's so good at IT, but he wasn't using it for anything productive.
Productively,
It was
yeah.
just the games. Yes, the coding things, the teachers will tell me, oh, he needs to go for the coding competition. He's good. He's one of my best, but he refused to do those ones. It was just his games. And, he could stay awake till 4 a.m. if you don't stop him. So I think parents need to be very intentional. I mean, you give them phones, give them the devices, but monitor them.
Yeah. Thanks, Julie.
Them.
Julie, do you
Let
want
me
to
ask
share
you
some of
something.
those gadgets? You can type it in the comment box or tell us things. So
Okay, so I'll I'm using Custodio. I'll send. I even took pictures of the parents council now did like a meeting, PTA meeting, where they shared more devices with us. So I can share that. I'll just look through my phone and share those ones with
Yeah,
you.
if you can
I'll
send
I
it
have
to
a
put
IJ.
question. I have a question, sis. Apart from gaming, was he doing anything negative when you were monitoring him? Apart from just gaming, anything negative?
No, I didn't notice anything negative.
Okay,
No,
that's good.
luckily, but you could see he and his friends were chatting nonstop. I mean, they were not interested in schoolwork. It was more games, football games, So there was nothing negative, but you never can tell where it would have led to, right? Because he stopped wanting to do things. I mean, if everybody is going out, the family is going out, he'll tell that he wants to stay at home just because he wanted to be on the devices.
Thank you, Julie. Talking about something, IJ, the question you asked, something negative. Do you know little Chizitalum 8? I noticed something, money went out of my account. So I called Adeze. We traced it. This boy registered, paid money to chat with a girl. His name was Chizitalum. Chat with a girl who is 15. And so Adeze was now asking him, what did the girl say? The girl said, how are you? He said, fine, how old are you? I said, 15. I said, okay. You shouldn't be here. And that was how they ended the conversation. That's him telling us what they discussed. They could have been a girl who wanted a different kind of discussion. And if I didn't see that money go out of my account, I'm queried, I wouldn't have known. So that's why I'm quite curious, because Chistem is taking his IT madness to another level at age 8.
But that boy has always been on your phone since he was in your tummy.
He's no longer.
He's always typing on group chats, you know. So he's always here.
That's Generation Z. We need to pull it back anyway. OJ.
Yeah.
No, but sorry, I wanted to ask something. The way you said he paid money to chat with a girl, was that the intent, or he paid money for an app?
Oh, app. It's an app.
I think
Yeah,
that
so
app, you need to pay to chat.
An app just to socialize
It's an
and to
app,
play
it's an
game, or he had it in mind that he was going to get a girl on the app?
OJ, if you
No.
ask me who I go ask.
No, because of the way you put
You
it.
should have
I don't
asked.
believe
You should
that.
ask him. Yeah, but I think it's
I
just
don't
the app.
believe that he paid because he wanted to chat with a girl. I don't believe that.
No, I don't believe it. It's probably an app all his classmates are using to chat
Mhm.
among
An
themselves.
act of
It's not a very
curiosity.
common
He wants
app.
to be
I can
part
ask
of
Adele
it.
to give me the name. It's not one of these, they are basic ones. Because Adele didn't even know until she Googled it online and saw this is a chatting app. And
I
went
think there's
through
a
the
different
phone.
generation from Chisitelo, right?
Eh?
I think that Chisitelo, there are two different generations, right now.
No,
Are they
that's the
the
same generation. Adele is 2008. Chistem is 2015. Actually, Chistem is not even in Gen Z. And I'm having
No,
this.
Chisitelo is not Gen Z. So
Never even
they
enter
are
Gen Z.
they are moon people.
Anyway, OJ, what do you have to say?
Okay. Talking about the fact that they are making money, it's a good thing. That is one of the positives. But then again, in as much as we applaud the fact that they do this and they make so much money, what about the downside? Someone who is making money based on the age, can they take care of that money? Can they take care of the downside of the effect of sitting down all day? Okay. What about you mentioned that because of their mental health, right? There are people who have anxiety issues, not necessarily because they are online. So, like somebody like me, I'm an HSP, highly sensitive person. So that kind of thing, I don't even need to be online.
You get them
Yes, know yourself, no because. So,
Yeah.
so based on that, I always look at people from that perspective. Okay, like when my kids were growing up, I was also always mindful of what I say to them, because words get to me. So my tactics was, whatever app I heard about, I move. I said, let's go there. That was how I signed up for Snapchat the moment it came, because that was what was raining for my kids back then. And I asked them, so what is it about this app? And they said, oh, when you send someone a message, it disappears once the person reads it. I was like, wow. So I knew that the battle wasn't just in my house. Right now on my Snapchat, we have my daughter's friends are all my friends, because it's one thing to do your work at home. What about on the outside? So I needed to see the people they called friends, what they were posting, the kind of things they were talking about, and I made myself their friends as well. We all got to a comfortable zone. So whenever there's something new, it is very important to know where these children are coming from. That's why I said Chizitolem did not pay money to go and talk to a girl, because it is not always what we think it is. So if you follow them gradually, not everything be gra-gra. We know the people that were brought up with gra-gra, how it ended up. Yeah. So my take would be to try to see where they are coming from, because as far as they are concerned, it's just like we thought our parents were old school. That's how these children feel very misunderstood. So my take would be, can we try to understand them before we talk about helping them? If you don't understand something, there's no way you're going to help. IJ, take it away.
Okay, I think
all right. So
sleep nicely into number 2. Go on. Oh, Chris wants to say something, IJ, before you guys.
I just have a question. This Gen Z that we're talking about, what is the age bracket? From what age to what age?
1997 to 2012.
1997 to 2012.
Yeah.
That's in terms of Okay,
People
so
born within that age.
After that is alpha.
but they age out because you can't monitor somebody that is an adult. So when they reaches 18, you stop the monitoring. Is that right?
We get to that point.
Yeah, because some 1997 are way more than 18 years or so. Is that right?
Yeah.
All right. So if they are all in that bracket, once they get a majority age, like 18, depending on where you live, you stop monitoring them because they can, come back to you. They can sue you because that's an invasion of privacy. So
but they still need help if it gets out of hand. If
you allow them
mental health,
you allow them to ask
parents
for
will
help.
come in again.
No, unless they ask for help. Even in
Okay.
mental health situations, you don't force somebody to get help. As long as that person can pass some tests. I'm just saying, because when you say Gen Z, 1997, if you have somebody that is 20, it's beyond redemption. That person is an adult.
True.
I just wanted to find out which people fall into that category because
some adults don't even know when they need help.
Unfortunately, that is one of the frustrating here. You can't force somebody who is an adult to get help. You can
How
try.
about, sorry, this is Emeka Obasi. How about dependent adults? As long as I have a child that is under my custody, under my responsibility, like a college kid, even if the person is 21 and I'm the one providing and taking care of that person, I have that parental right to monitor the person's activity, even if the person is above 18, unless the person is independent and staying on his or her own.
At a certain age, there are things you cannot control.
Yes.
If that person is an adult, you can have him in your house. The best option for you, if you don't like, is ask him to move.
To move,
exactly. And if he wants to move, you can't stop him. I know we African parents, we are so much, fixated, attached to our kids that even if they are 20, at 20, he can sue you if you violate his privacy.
Yep.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So we have to have a drawing line. All you can pray is the grace of God to have somebody who can listen to some, like OJ said, some of these things you do by dialogue. Most of the things I've been able to do with my son, I call him, I say, hey, guys, sit down. I say, you see me cook for you and do all this. I didn't learn it, just now. So I learned it and it's helping me. So if you learn how to cook now, some days you're going to cook for yourself, at least make some rice and, when you are snowed in. And some days you're going to cook for your kid. So when I ask you to come to the kitchen,
for a woman,
I'm not punishing you. So we had that dialogue. Now, come to the kitchen, it comes naturally. We don't even have to fuss about those. But if I start shouting, if you don't do this, I'll break, it doesn't work. So we sit down and we talk about it. I said, hey, we have to find a way to handle them, especially when they are you can handle those that are teenage, like 10, 12, but once they get to that age, you can't help it. And you pray that they can listen to you, but if they don't, there's little or nothing you can do.
Okay. All right, thank you. Esther, can you go before we ask the second question?
Yeah. Hello, everyone.
Hi.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with everything that everyone has said. But what I would say, the takeaway is that we have to start when they're young. Even though the age group we were talking about, most of them are mature, because I've got a 21-year-old and an 18-year-old. And we used to have this family thing where whenever you go out, you can see where everyone is. But I've noticed, like, my older daughter, she obviously turned it off when she got to a certain age, because obviously she doesn't want me to know where she's going. But it's like, I had a conversation. I said to her, you know what? As long as you tell me where you're going, I'm happy with that, and I trust you. And that's what we do. So she's going, I don't need the app anymore. She's going out somewhere. She just says, Mom, I'm going here. And I'm like, oh, am I going to, because she works. She's like, if I'm not going to come home tonight, I'm like, okay, fine. As long as in the morning you text me if you're not in. So we have that conversation. I think it's about starting that early in that conversation where You know, they can ask questions and you can answer their questions and tell them the reasons why you're asking them to do these things. And then like my 18-year-old, she's turned off that thing as well. Sometimes she'll turn it off, sometimes she'll turn it on. I remember there was a day she was going to go and get her hair done from somebody on, it was a TikTok. And I was like, where are you going to go and get this hair done? I'm like, it's not even a hairdresser's that if I'm looking for it, I can find it. And I said to her, can you please put that thing back on so that where you go, I can see where you're going. And she did do it. And, you know, she left it on for a couple of, weeks and then she turned it off. And I'm like, it's there for security. And I explained to her, this is the reason, because if anything happens to you, I don't even know where you're going. How am I going to say, she says she's going to go and get her hair done, somebody from TikTok. How am I going to find that person? So I think when you have this conversation, you kind of explain to them where your worries are. They do understand and they'll say, okay, fine. And they realize that it's not that you're controlling them. And like my 11-year-old, he's got that app on his phone. Sometimes I forget. I think the other day he came back from school and I always tell him to call me. So he thinks that because he's got that app now, he doesn't have to call me when he's at home because I can just check it and know where he's at. But I hadn't even forgotten about the app. So I was like, why didn't you call me? Why didn't you call me? He's like, but Mom, you know where I am. You've got the app. And I was like, oh, yes, I have got the app. I do know where you are, but I still want you when you get home to kind of call me and say, oh, Mom, I'm at home, because it just makes me know that, you're okay, because I still want to hear your voice. So even though the app is there, it's not just the app, it's because I'm concerned and I want to hear from you. So I think it's about having these dialogues with the kids as they grow up. And then it's like, finally, when they leave home, they're still going to be calling and checking in with you. Because I explained to him, I said to him, even at my age, if I'm going somewhere new, I tell my sister, or I tell somebody, or I tell a friend or somebody, just so that I'm like, oh, I'm going to a new place. Please, this is where I'm going, just in case anything, because we have to be aware that there are dangers in this world, And when it comes to these online games and stuff like that, it's good. I feel like, there's benefits to it, but we have to make our kids aware of the dangers of it. My son, when he first started playing, I say to him, you know what? I only want you to play with your cousins, people that I know, but as they get older, they'll add their school friends and then they'll add their school friends' friends, and then it gets to that point where you're like, oh, so I'll sometimes be listening out to his playing and I hear a name and I'm like, I don't know that name and I don't know that voice. And I'll be like, so who's that you're playing with? And then he might say, oh, someone's so-and-so friend. I'm like, you know what? I'm not comfortable with you playing with so-and-so friend because I don't know that person. I'd rather you play with people that I know that if anything, I can go back, and talk to their parents, or they can come and talk to me if there's any concern. And I also think like, when they're online and stuff like their phones and stuff, my son knows. I take his phone and I check it. He knows that. I'm like, I need to check your phone because he's only 11. I need to check your chats because I don't want you to chatting or saying something inappropriate. So I'll check his phone and he's fine with that. Like sometimes at night he'll just be like, Mom, here's my phone. He's like, you check what you want, and then he goes off and he's like, are you happy? I'm like, yes, and then that kind of thing. So I think when they understand that you're trying to keep them safe and it's not really come out of a place of, what could I say, like you're controlling, I think it helps. And I think when they have their kids, they will do the same, because this thing's going to get worse because technology is everywhere. Coding and all that stuff is good for our kids. Things are going to be that way in the future. And actually, the more we encourage the positive side of things, the better. And I also believe that parents, with certain kids at a certain age, you need to monitor how many hours they spend on these things, because it's so easy that they could be on there. You don't realize, like my son, I always tell him, I'm sorry, you cannot go on that thing until afternoon. Because sometimes he's like, oh, my friends are on at 9 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, 9 o'clock in the morning? What are you not doing playing Fortnite at 9 o'clock in the morning? Like, you don't have anything else to do.
Sleeping the whole day when they don't have
the
school.
whole day. So I always say to him, you go on at 12, you can go on for maybe, I always say to him, 2 hours, you need to come off. You come off, and even if you're eating, you're not allowed to be on there. You need to get off the thing, because they'll tell you, I'm not hungry. And as soon as he comes off there, he's starving, like, oh, Mom, I'm hungry, I want food now. And I'm like, but I asked you, you said you didn't want food. So I would tell him, the time you have to have food, you have to come off. So he knows he has to have certain breaks. And I always say to him, if you go over the time I tell you to come off, then the next day, you're not going to go on it. And I said to him, this is the reason why I'm telling you, because it's not healthy. Your back, it's not healthy. Your hands. I worry about these kids' hands. For me,
right. I
worry about the hands and the health. Yeah. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. All right. Well, while people in all generations are experiencing declining mental health, because mental health is a big thing now. Everybody's, talking about it, experiencing it, and taking precautions and treatments. Gen Z is faring worse than other generations. And the question is, why and what can be done to assist them? Dr. Chizo, are you there? as our mental health specialist, can you start?
Hi, everyone.
Chizo.
Sorry,
Hi, Chizo, how are you?
I've got company. Yeah, but that's
Yeah,
fine.
go
Yeah,
ahead.
I can talk now. Sorry.
Okay.
I missed your question. Apologies. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening. Wabs, do you want to recap? Do you want to read it again?
Hold on. The question is why and what can be done to assist them. It's about the Gen Z faring worse than other generation in mental health.
I think most people have. Sorry, apologies for the noise. I think most people have covered what needs to be done because it's about primary prevention. The primary prevention is not exclusive of all the things we've talked about, but first of all, trying to understand what sort of mindset they do have, because
Yes.
as parents, we're likely to draw the wrong conclusions as being parents. It's not unusual for parents to be anxious. But first of all, is understanding. Second is supporting, and of course, supervision. It's always good to supervise a child, especially even when they are above 18. If you know that that's an issue with them, find things to safeguard them and support them. Have access to their online content at every point in time, because being online is like being on the streets. We don't want your child to go to someone's that could put them in danger. Those are the kind of things. But more importantly, we have to understand that their generation, they have massive influx of information overload, and that in itself can make people prone to anxiety. So that is why people of Gen Z are much more prone to anxiety. Everything is there. I mean, some of the times when we were growing up, we wouldn't get to hear about something until several days later. But in this generation, you hear it instantly. So they have that every single time. It's always good for you to feedback, look back with them as a parent to reassure them of what realistic and what isn't realistic, and support them. Try as much as possible to reassure fears. But last but not the least is give them everyday tasks. It keeps their mind occupied and away from technology, because no matter how clever they are, if they're not able to care for themselves independently, they haven't done anything. So they should be able to learn basic things like cooking, cleaning, washing their own clothes, ironing their own clothes, because no matter how rich they are, they have to start somewhere. So independence, by giving them everyday tasks in the house, is one way to train them. So I think maybe we'll go specific later on mental health issues.
Yeah, thank you so much. Better, Ome. Better. Eze, why are you there? Binta, you want to take it from me? Hello.
Hi, I'm so sorry. You guys go ahead.
Oh,
I'm just listening today. I'm so sorry about that.
No, I wanted to ask you about Gen Z's mental health. Do you think there's why and what can be done to assist them mentally?
I that's what I'm saying. I'm just listening today. You'll go ahead.
Oh, you're just listening today? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Ataibo. Ati. Why is everybody so quiet today?
Esther's hand is up.
Okay, Esther, I see your hand is up. Can you take it from me?
Yeah.
Thank
So
you,
what has been said is true. I think we need to help our children to understand the emotion, about the emotion, to become emotional intelligence, to understand, like the lady said, information is everywhere. And, when we were growing up, maybe we had the filters there. Our parents filtered it, we had filters to filter those things. But now kids can, sometimes my kids will come up to me and say, "Oh, Mom, did you know this just happened? Around somebody got robbed, or somebody," like my daughter, she had this, she knew where bad places were, bad areas were. So she would try not to go there. And I think, that will create fear in you if you know where every bad area is, or where people are getting robbed or people getting stabbed, But we never used to have that access to that kind of information. So I think it's about, like lady said, about letting them understand what's real and what's reality. She is 18. She's 18, yeah.
So she's in high school because high school pulls students from different
Yeah.
districts.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
people low income, high income, middle income come
Yeah.
together.
Yeah.
Get to know.
Yeah.
She should.
You know, so I have conversation with her and I say to her, you know what, it's not like time has changed. It's just that you have access to more information. I'm sure, you know, the things that happen was happening when I was growing up, but maybe I wasn't aware of it. But, you know, just you being aware, you just have to just be safety, but don't be conscious like, oh, I don't want to go out when it's night, or I don't want to go out when it's this. Because I said you have to live your life, you know, and just to kind of help her to understand what fear is and having a healthy sense of fear rather than the one that is going to, you know, cripple you and stop you from living. And, you know, and I think that's all part about having conversations, you know, how are you feeling? What's going on? Let's talk about this. You know, if you're feeling anxious, let's talk about what is causing you to feel anxious. What are the things you can do to kind of, you know, reduce these things? It's not always about medication. Sometimes it's about changing your mindset. You know, your mindset is the most important thing to change. And I'm not saying, you know, just act as if everywhere is safe, because I think some kids walk around thinking that there's no danger anywhere. Like everywhere is complete. And I think that's the other extreme.
If you raise your kids in a bubble, they'll think life is
they'll
just
think
inside that bubble.
Exactly.
You have to expose them to everything. Let them go out on their own and feel, you know what I mean? We can't put them in a cage. It's not so.
No,
if you raise your kids, it depends on how you raise your kids. You have to, you have to trust that you raise the right way.
That's it. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
You know,
anybody else want to take it before OJ takes the mic?
Let me finish. I
Please
don't
go
know.
ahead. Auntie can speak now.
You know, I've never been a believer of mental health where kids are involved. This is a new language or a new vocabulary with this Gen Z or so. I don't think it used to be like that. I remember during our own days, we gathered together. People will yab you, say all sorts of things, and you brush it out and you go home. Sometimes you fight.
You know why you brush it out and go home?
But now,
you know why we did that? Because our parents already yabbed us about say we get big head, big leg.
It helped us to get that. Somebody was saying emotional resilience also. It helps us to get that emotional toughness. Now, if you tell a 13 or 14 or even anybody, if you say, look at your head, the next thing we will say is bullying. What is bullying? Bullying. You know? So that should be removed from the dictionary. If somebody say your head is this, I will say your head is bigger. Even when I know
that's what I tell my kids.
If somebody say call your mother, you say I'm calling your mother, your father, your grandmother, you know, you match it. Instead of you coming back home, he's bullying, and we key into that. You have
well, you know,
kids,
like OJ always said, OJ always said every child is different because like the things her elder sister would take, the yabbing, she couldn't take it because of her sensitivity. So we have to pay attention to every child.
We have to make it like these days now when you have children, it's too hot, spicy, don't put pepper, because we started eating pepper when we were 6 months old. Some kids now
I have a slightly divergent view. I have a slightly divergent view to yours about mental health.
Yeah, it's allowed. No, I understand. If I'm a mental health professionals, you know, there are things like Orama and Jackery. If you go to the playground, they yab you. You don't put bullying. The next day you get somebody, you come back with a rhetoric. I remember those days I engaged in fights, I will run back home. They will push me out, go and fight. And you never know how strong you are. And the moment I fought back, that was the last time anybody tried to bully me. But these days we call bully mentally health, they're emotional. These are kids.
I'm not quite sure I agree with you on that.
You don't have to agree with me. This is your area, you're a doctor. But the rate, the speed at which they put labels, he has a speech disability. I said, come on, stop. They bring note for me to sign. My son, I said, no, it's not my son. I'm not signing anything because you want to put a tag on him.
Okay. Can I just explain what my
go ahead, doctor. Go ahead.
I think OJ's question will like trigger this conversation.
Yeah.
So OJ, go ahead with your question so that they can talk about it because it's.
Okay, so before I ask my question, I know where Onion is coming from, because like he said, there were things that we grew up with. Then eventually, when you're older, you decide that, okay, I don't like beans because it makes me gassy. Okay, but growing up, you had no option than to eat the beans, or you just drink water and go to
I was
bed.
malnourished growing up because I couldn't eat most things. I didn't like it, and there was no choice. I was eating I was drinking gari, bread and gari. That's all I liked, and rice. And it wasn't an everyday meal.
So
You
you know,
didn't have a
like
choice.
this thing about mental health and all that, it's always a touchy thing. My son said something to me last month when I was asking him, because in his first and second year in the university, he had the same set of roommates. Now he has a different set. So, and because of how much we talk, I was asking about one particular one, and he said to me, you know what happens in this society? I mean, society meaning in the Western world. Whatever it is you want, they help you. If you come off being, oh, I'm mentally whatever, that there is room for you to thrive in that aspect, And funny enough, I felt that he is the one that is more like me, very sensitive. But I'm thankful that he seems even more balanced as well.
Stronger than you. Thank God.
Then he's a man, he doesn't have any option. So the truth is, like I said earlier, if you do not understand these people, you will not make any headway. When they were younger, I used to get upset because their dad would never raise his voice, not to talk of anyone being punished or flogged or anything. And I'm like, I just told you this person did this and you're negotiating. I used to call it negotiations, because he would call each one, sit them down, say, your mom says this happened. Okay, do you think that was right? And then he would ask you, so what are we going to do? And eventually those conversations stopped, because at some point everybody knew what they were meant to do. But talking about this Gen Z, like Onion pointed out, the age range is wide. So the way you're going to deal with a younger Gen Z must be different from the way you deal with the older ones. Because now we have Gen Zs at the workplace, and we have Gen Zs still in school. You can't handle both parties the same way. That's not going to happen. You won't even have, in fact, you will end up frustrated. For example, we talked about mental health. There are other things you can reason with them on. You're spending time online. Have you thought about what would happen to your site in the next 20 years? While growing up, we knew that until you're 40, apart from children who were born into families with, inherited eye problems, then we see few kids in our classrooms in primary school wearing glasses. But these days, you see people wearing glasses quite early because of exposure to screens. So that alone, for someone who doesn't like me, I don't think glasses fits me. So as much as I can, I don't want to wear it.
Let me piggyback on that. Some kids during our time growing up needed glasses. They couldn't see the board, and they were at the back of the class, and they were failing.
Yeah,
so
that's
many
what
kids
I'm saying.
couldn't read, write, had problems. They had sight, but there was no foresight taking them. It wasn't then. We didn't have genetics. So those things were we didn't know. We didn't know.
That's what I'm saying. That there were kids who their health, required that early enough. But there are people who it is exposure to screen that is making them need glasses right now. That's what I'm trying to say. So sometimes it's not about scolding. When you reason with them and then you say to them, someone wants to say something?
I think
okay.
I
thought Chisba wanted to say something. I was waiting for her to.
Oh, okay. So I was going to ask, what do you guys think we can do to help these two categories? The Gen Zs we work with and the ones we have in school. Boy, do you want to say something?
Yeah, hi everybody and Happy New Year.
We've missed you.
I missed you all too. I don't want to help anybody. I want to help myself. Which one concern me with Gen Z and their problems?
No.
I-
You want to help them because if you're
no,
not careful, you will be frustrated in the office.
no, no.
But
I
your
don't-
kids are millennials, or do you have a Gen Z or millennials?
Two Gen Zs,
Two Gen Zs,
but they
okay.
are 21 and 23 now.
Okay.
So they are
I
the
have
older
both.
ones. When they were younger in school, I ran my house like a little barracks. They didn't play any games Monday to Friday. It wasn't even thought of. So they played games Saturday and Sunday, obviously after homework and stuff like that. So they grew up with that. So I didn't have to talk too much. By the time they got to secondary school, they knew the rules. So although they're adults now, they kind of because of the way they've grown up, they know how to monitor, how to manage their time, which includes their mental health, their eye health, because I wear glasses in my old age now. They manage things because they started young with the rules and regulations. They've got friends. Even when their friends came, they were not allowed in my house. And because of that, they didn't do it. In the workplace now, I have the Gen Zs who have in my workplace now believe in doing things quickly. They want to do things quickly, not properly. I'm of the old school of doing things properly. They are of the school of doing it quickly. And those are two different things. So once we work in a team, I believe in teamwork. I know it can be done quickly, but do we have to come back and do it again tomorrow? So you learn the technological part that will make things easier for you, but not necessarily better. You know, it's all about well, I suppose listening to what everybody has to say, you know, but at the end of the day, I don't see much as a problem because the world is evolving and revolving every day. We cannot stay out of the world. But I won't let you you won't give me your problems though, because I won't give you my own.
Actually, let me ask you one question. Assuming you're managing a Gen Z, and from everything we're saying here, there are a group of people that want to be left alone. They want to do things their own way. Otherwise, because from their characteristics, they're prone to anxiety. So would you change your management style at work? Because you don't want to upset him, you don't want it to affect his mental health. You deal with him differently from how you deal with me.
From my engineer enter. So
hell no. It's not your father's company. You're working for an organization. And when you came, you were interviewed and you read the specs and you know what the policies, you know what the rules and regulations of the organization are. So we'll work within that.
Same thing I said last week, policies and procedures. Yes, you have to know.
You cannot want to work alone, be left alone. For what?
Yes.
Stay in your house. You can't come to my team. What's that for? No, not tolerated.
Yeah, I support you. Yeah.
No. There's ways of dealing with things.
If like that, once they come back from school, they do their homework. Yeah.
Yeah, if there's something in the organization that we can do to make it better for you, yeah, but not to be left alone. You don't like this, you don't like. What's that? Where do you think you are? In your house? No. Don't tolerate such nonsense. It's not. No. We will go through the policies and procedures. You will see there that there's no time for nonsense there. I'm sorry. No, go and
so
do your
it's either you conform or you stay home.
Yeah, but my daughter will say, this one, they like my mama.
Simple. Yeah. I don't like everything they do at work. I don't like everything, the way everything is done, but I've got to conform. It is an organization. They're there for a reason. You know, I work with mostly men now, and they tell you, because men don't like taking orders from women, and they will tell you things. These are old men. They will tell you things that I've been a bus driver for 27 years. And I go, but you haven't gone far, have you? So
it's not how long. It's not
so let's come back to what I'm telling you to do now. You know, so that the same happens to children too. You know, or young people, Gen Z, whatever name they want to call themselves. You need to work within the confines of wherever it is you're made to work. If you need help, help will be provided, but not that you want it tailored
in your own terms,
tailored to meet your needs. Why not? And that's me done.
We have a Gen Z rep here. Where's Ejine? She gone?
She's gone.
Oh my dear, I would have loved to hear from her.
Come back again. She will embarrass me, but let me bring her.
Binta, go ahead. Binta, go ahead. Bim, bim.
Her life goal is to embarrass.
Mother of a Gen Z, tell us what you think.
Okay, I want to contribute in terms of workplace. Yeah, in as much as we want them to work according to the rules of the workplace. You know that we're used to working copy and paste, and they're not used to that. Now, like I go with what OJ said, you discuss with them. Now they want to do things fast, probably not well. You want to do things well and detailed. Now, what I do, because I have a lot of Gen Zs in my team, what I do, if in terms of calculation, they will just go to Excel, plug it in there. Every time I'll tell them, so what if you are standing in front of someone and you don't have Excel? What happened? They say, Mama, don't worry. I said, okay, I'll tell you how to do it. I'll teach you how to do it. One day I now took one out in front of a customer, and now the customer was now asking questions, and I said, can we have a calculator, sir, that we can get it? And I'll change the terms. The same process, but no terms. But meanwhile, he has crammed everything that he did in the Excel.
Yes, now.
To just drop it for the man, and I'll change the terms, change the rates, and I'll give him calculator. I said, so can you calculate this for the man? He looked at me. I was with my pen and paper. I was calculating, but I covered my book. He will look at me. He will look at me and look at the man. I said, so can we go ahead, sir? He will now pinch me and say, Mama, I'm not getting it. I said, because the rates have changed. So, after that, he now came back and told his friend that, that is good to learn this, don't just copy. That if you work with Madam B, that you will learn it too. You don't, some of them, they will come to work. You will just you will dress anyhow and come to work. You fold your shirt. And they know you cannot dress like that and come in front of me. When we're in a corporate place, some will wear one baggy sweater inside, wear it on top of the shirt. I'll say, so are you at work today or you're on leave? He said, at work. I said, please go and dress well before you come.
That's appropriate.
I don't want to work for you.
Because yes, we need to do the things rightly.
That should
we need
be
to
a
accommodate
culture.
them.
Yeah.
We need to accommodate them, but we need to make them present themselves neat. And
in America, here in the US, director of departments come to work with tights.
Yeah.
They dress casual.
No. If you dress
so British, I have to have a blazer or suit or something.
Yeah,
most
if
days,
our
they ask
environment,
me where are you going after work.
If
and
our
these are my
environment
generation, older generation than me. It's not even Gen Z.
Yeah,
but it's because of where they're working.
If our environment says
it's not where they're working. It's
way.
just a culture. That's
no, but how we're not seeing those sloppy dressings on CNN?
But remember,
not in every office.
It's only their jackets you're seeing,
No, it depends
on the bottom.
when we used to go into the office daily, there is a dress code.
Sure.
So it depends on where you work. If you are coming on my own side, we dress casual, but there is something they call business casual. You don't have to come with a torn jeans over. When you get into a meeting and you look at people, you will advise yourself. Even if you're the partner in the office also. So, but now people have, laissez-faire kind of dressing. So most offices don't tolerate that. Some offices don't care how you look.
Chris, lawyers in Nigeria is always on white shirts, but you guys don't wear white shirts.
No, we do have, when they say business casual, if you're having a meeting, especially you're having a meeting with outside clients, a corporate client, you have to dress well. It's a no-brainer. If you are dressing down, even if during summer, it's a kind of, dress down, but business casual, but you have to button down shirt. You don't just have to wear a pullover from, one of these and just walk into the office when you're meeting the client. So you have to take care. But some people are, like here, you don't necessarily have to wear a three-piece suit, but when it calls for a three-piece suit, you have to dress like we wear a three-piece suit. So some offices make it easier.
If somebody introduces a lawyer to you and the lawyer comes with a tank top and a torn jeans, will you actually take the person serious?
You will take them serious.
You won't face me. I don't judge people by appearance.
I judge people by appearance.
No, there's environments where you be. Now we're talking about Gen Zs. The problem now at workplace are not even people that fall into the Gen Z but are now behaving like the Gen Zs. So you are struggling to educate the Gen Zs, and you are struggling to even.
But these are the things the British. These are the things. What you have to understand: U.S. people, they want to do everything like opposite from what the British taught them. So Nigerians were still under, like, I like how we dress in Nigeria. That's how I dress up to go to work every day. I wear heels every day. I love dressing up. And they ask me every day, where are you going? I love it.
You're always
because
smart.
I saw
Yeah,
people,
true.
I saw people growing up. That's what I saw. Even when my mom wore Ankara to work, she had heels, so I'm used to that, so I know that's what I'm used to. But what I'm trying to say, if I'm a Jamaican back, so what I'm trying to say is that the culture in America, we have several Gen Zs. Hold your, if I'm gonna catch them now before they go.
Hi, hello, Gen Zs. Thanks for joining our show today.
Hi, Auntie. How are you?
We're very well,
Hi, guys.
thank you. We've been talking about you ladies in particular. How do you want to be treated? Tell us one thing we don't understand about you. Just tell us. It could be parents, it could be your lecturers, it could be at work.
She always tells me respect is reciprocal. She always
just tell us what.
That's a great
we'd like
one.
to know, what do you think we do not, people who are not of your generation do not understand about you, and what you want us to understand?
That respect is a mutual thing. So that, like I do tell my mom all the time, like, I understand that people have been here longer than you have, and like you're wise and whatnot, but like that doesn't mean that just because I'm younger than you, like I don't deserve to be respected. And I feel like that's very common amongst us. You guys don't respect us at all. Oh, why did the video go off? Come back.
Okay. No, we can see you guys. We can see you guys.
Also the fact that I understand that age may also mean wiser or more knowledgeable, but that's not always the case. And I feel like older generations have to understand that, like, not everything that you say may always be right, and then they kind of disregard what we have to say because we're younger and don't assume that we know anything. When we come with like the facts and the understanding, but because we're younger, they just don't think that what we say is right. And I feel like if we have common sense, if we have something that we're saying that actually genuinely has like whatever this talks about, like, I feel like to not just kind of discredit us because of the fact that we're younger. If it was someone in your age group, you wouldn't listen. But I feel like because we're younger, they just think we don't know anything.
Your volume is kind of down, low.
Oh, probably because my mic is down here.
Yeah, it's better now.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I also feel like we just sometimes just really want to be like heard. We're not really like, sometimes like we come and like talk to you guys about something. Sometimes it just turns into a lecture, and we're not really wanting to hear that. We're coming to you so we can,
or an argument,
so we could just like express how we're feeling. Like, we'd love to take your advice and everything. We love it. We love hearing it. But sometimes also it's like the approach as well. So, I think the biggest thing is just wanting to be heard and like trying to be understood.
Okay.
Thank you very much, ladies. Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
You're welcome. Okay.
Okay, can I say something on behalf of my generation? We think that
Yes.
this disease that you don't listen. You only want to be heard, but you don't listen to us. Yeah. So take that on board and work on it. Okay? And we're very concerned from research. It's been shown that excessive use or excessive dependence, high dependency on technology is a problem to your generation. Do you think it's true?
Yes.
Yeah.
And what are you doing? You individually, what are you doing individually to help yourselves, and how you affect your mental health?
I mean, for me personally, I've been off of Instagram for like a month now, and I like it that way. She said she likes to send me stuff on Instagram.
Good.
So I don't really use Snapchat, but I use TikTok occasionally. So I feel like it's not really that bad. I don't think it affects my mental health too bad. Yeah. I'm just like not really on too many things these days anymore. So I'm just,
That's self-control. You just controlled yourself. You didn't let mommy stop you. Go ahead, girl. Next person.
And more, and more, I feel like for me at least, I've been, because normally, like, you know, you text people and you're always like texting, hey, let's hang out, let's do this. I've been actually starting to do it instead of just letting it know, you know, be on the phone, texting, FaceTiming them. Instead, like, I go to see them or they come to see me.
Perfect.
Yeah.
That's better.
And the third person?
They didn't even introduce themselves.
May we know your names? May we know your names, please? We know Ejine. Ejine, who is Ejine? Ejine is Ijeoma's daughter.
Hi.
Hello.
And a troublemaker.
Your
All
friend.
right.
Don't we know your name?
I'm Cheyenne. I'm Ejine's roommate and friend.
Hi, Cheyenne. Thank you very much.
And she's Jamaican.
And I'm Jamaican.
Yeah.
Jamaican. Wow.
Pink star.
And who is the next person? She's shy.
Introduce yourself. Hi everyone, my name is Maya and I'm Ejine's roommate / friend as well. And she's Nigerian.
Thank you very much. From time to time, you could just look in and see what we're doing here. Thank you very much for joining. Thank you.
Thank you.
I just sent you the link to it because Benson mentioned Gen Z. Thanks, guys. Thank you, guys.
Bye.
Yeah, galang.
Oh, good.
All right.
I was even shaping my thoughts, speaking to those Gen Z, so I don't upset them.
Are you serious?
I cause them anxiety.
No, she's just like me. No difference. Nothing bothers her. She blows everything off. Everything off. She when they hear about it.
Yeah. Well, all I could say about this Gen Z, like Chris said earlier, they grow out of that generation. They're still within that generation, but when they grow and take up the different stages in life, they find out that most of the things we talk about today is what they will be talking about or talking to their children about, and they will understanding that we're not just making noise. We're listening to them. They want to be respected. We're respecting them. We say that they don't think we're respecting them the way they want to be respected. Well, we can't respect you the way you want to be respected. We have to respect you the way respect should apply. Everybody knows.
Can I say something before you sign off?
Go ahead.
The thing you just said, me and her used to always fight because, and she's like, why you always? I said, because I was exactly the same thing she did. I used to come back from boarding school, all my clothes would be on my bed, and me and my mom would be fighting. My father would be not siding me, like telling my mom to, because my father is a talker, not and she does exactly the same thing. And I said I was exactly like you, and my mom forced me to learn those things. So it's going to be. So at times you have to tell them that you are like them too, because she was just exactly like me.
That's if you were like them. Sometimes I wasn't like them.
Yeah, okay, for me, she's exactly me.
At this stage, I have one question to ask them.
Go. They've gone.
Yeah.
They've gone.
I can tell her to come. I can tell her to come back.
Oh, that's
You
okay.
want to tell her to come back?
Okay. I was thinking of getting I want to know their opinion on that.
Yes, Ben.
Okay, let me tell her to come back.
Yeah,
let me tell her to come back.
I wanted you to ask them, what do they mean by being respected?
That's what didn't you ask?
For them to rule us.
Me and her always argue. I tell her to shut up that I'm talking. She's like,
because the respect. There's no person that don't respect his or her child. But what kind of respect do they need?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, she's coming back. She's coming back.
Okay, Ben,
I think if I can just say something.
Okay.
What the Gen Z.
You want to end and we go to overtime, or you want to continue?
And Gen Alpha.
Let's give it 50.
Are saying is that there is a significant shift in how they are being parented, and we have noticed that the over anxiety that they do have is by, would I say, overprotective parenting. So not letting them be free and as venturous as they are. I think when we were 14, I'm just giving myself as an example, my mom didn't know where I was all the time. But we see that this generation, their parents want to know where they are, exactly where they are at every point in time. That on its own is anxiety provoking to the parent, but is also anxiety provoking to the child. There should be some level of trust. That's what they mean by respect. There is lack of trust from the parent to the child, and in how you communicate with them, because at the same time, you need to speak to them in a way that they can understand, and vice versa.
Because
You
the
can
two
go ahead
do.
and
That's why we cannot. Actually, can you say something before the Gen Z
Sorry.
went again? God scatter this house. Actually, you're mute, oh. Unmute yourself.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Yeah, okay. Most of us went to boarding school from 10, 11 till about 18 or whatever. Most of us now, our children have grown with us. They stay with us until they go to university. So we see them day in, day out. When we were growing up, with boarding school, we hid a lot of things there. We did so many good and so many bad things when we were in boarding school. We came home and acted all nice and went back to the bad things we were doing. So we showed our parents what we wanted them to see. With our children now, we see them day in, day out. So the kind of parenting we're giving them is not what our parents gave us. So sometimes we struggle to balance it out. We talk to them about, oh, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that. But we know in our heart of us that we did worse. But our parents didn't see it. But we can see it now, you know. So we tend to listen and talk to them and say, oh, please don't do this, because we know what the repercussions are going to be. When we were growing up, we had your dad, your mom, your nosy neighbor, your overprotective auntie, your very troublesome uncle. Everybody was part of you growing up. Now it's mostly left to your parents, to you or your husband to bring up these children, you know, and it can be a bit difficult sometimes. So to make life easy for you, you give them rules and regulations and say, abide by them. And children say, why should I? You know, so it's a catch-22. It's a struggle for the children, struggle for the parents. But with talking and patience and hoping they leave home soon, we'll all get there one day. Yeah. That's all I have to say.
Yeah,
that's.
Are they
okay.
frozen?
Okay, can hear you
they
now.
are frozen.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Welcome back. I just have what my team question. My question is this: how would you feel, or how would you advise? I don't know what generation we belong. I don't even know our generation. But how would you advise a 70-year-old man or an uncle that is planning to go and get a tattoo and pierce his nose, you know, just to rock with the Gen Zs?
Okay. Honestly, I'm the type of person that's like, if you want to do it, go for it. You know, it's your body, it's your choice. I'm like heavy on your body, your choice. Cause like my nose is pierced. I also have a tattoo. The Asian ass tattoos, like, you know. So I feel as if you want to do what you want to do, just do it. At the end of the day, it's your body. It's how you feel about it. They're talking about.
So don't you think there are things your parents should be doing at their age that will be embarrassing to you? They will say, oh no, dad, don't do that.
Okay. Oh, there's like little things that like your parents sometimes do that's little like, oh, like, you know, singing like the newest song that's trending or something, or like doing like one of the newest trends. You sit there and you're like, okay, all right. But I think like a tattoo or like piercings, I think that's pretty like cool, because not a lot of people.
Side note, Mom, don't you love your nose piercing that we got you for your birthday? You're muted. I can't hear you.
You know, your mom is a Gen Z in Gen Z in body.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I love it. It's closed though. Yeah. I'll reopen it. Yeah.
Oh, IJ, are they your daughters?
Yeah, they took me. My first two kids, my first son and her, for my 46th, 7th
daughter
birthday.
is there.
No, it was
Okay.
2 years ago. They took me to
Okay, that's cool.
PS
Well, that's just what I wanted to
about
know.
PS we were born, and I never. And my daughter was like, "Mom, come, let's go," and she just took me, and you know.
Before you guys sign out, or before, what I want to say is sometimes we do this out of love. Not that we disrespect you or we don't respect you, you know, or approve of what you're doing. We're just trying to, you know, guide you. The times are different from when we were growing up. There are things, you know, we can withstand, and we don't have much labels, you know, on the things. Now, if I say something, look at your your hair is looking shaggy, it's looking this.
That's body
You will
shaming.
go, you will go into, you will go into,
Thank
you
you,
will go,
Chris.
you will go into depression, and then you go and say bullying. But I remember when we were
Body
growing,
shaming.
I remember when
It's
we
the
were growing up.
approach.
It's the approach.
It's the
It's the
approach.
approach. I feel
It's
like
the
if you come
approach.
with nicer words,
Yes.
like
So,
the intention behind it is nice, but
in
the
our
way it's being
in
done
our
is
own
not
time, we don't have approach. You just say it as it is. But let me tell you,
No.
when I was growing up, I was this skinny. They used to make fun of me that get inside. When the wind is blowing, they say, Chris, get inside. The wind will carry you. You see now, my friends are telling me, see how big your tummy is. See how big you are. And you know what I tell them? I say, this world, Uwezok, is never complete. You do this, you are doomed. You do that, you are doomed. And that is how it doesn't bother me,
Yes.
you know. But sometimes if I tell you now that you are this, you go into depression, and Dr. Chizoba will be counseling you, you know. So that's what we're saying. Is it right? No.
Ask them about my
But society has made us that, you know, so when your parents talk to you, everything they say is out of love. We might not know how to say it nicely, yes,
softly.
but don't think we are disrespecting you. We're just trying to be overprotective, which has its benefit and its own disadvantage. So that when something like that happens, you can, you know, listen to them, and then you come back and say, but mom, you know, what you said a few minutes ago, I understand what you're going to say, but the way you say it, it's, you know, something you can, when you engage in those kind of dialogue and conversation, you see, it's going to, you know, make it easy for parenting and you listening, and, you know, so we say this thing is coming from a place of love, not from a place of hate. So don't overly, you know, read meanings into it and say, my parents doesn't respect you. You're best advocate, you're best person, regardless of what you say. And so we love you guys. And
No, don't go yet. Esther wants to say something. I don't know if it was there.
so we love you guys. We love you guys.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to ask a question. You know, you said like if your parents sing a song that you're listening to, you find that cringy. I'm asking why is it? Because my kids do that. I'm like, they listen to a song and I know it and I start singing. They're like, oh, like why you listen to that song? And I just want to know what is cringing about that.
You're too old for that.
It's the same way. If I play a song from the 90s, my mom goes, oh, you take all your music from me, or what do you know about this song?
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
Just like that.
So it's good. So you own the new music. You don't want us to come into your area, but it's good, isn't it? We can vibe together, isn't it?
You can vibe just like without singing the lyrics.
Yeah. That's
Oh, you don't want us to sing? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna try that. I'm gonna try not to sing when the songs come on now, okay? And see what happens. I might get a different reaction. Thank you.
So we can vibe and not sing the lyrics. Okay.
Correct.
Hello. Hey, how you doing? It's me, the Master B at C for Sylvia.
Oh, okay. All right.
Benson, you have a question for them before they go.
I think Chris have settled my own area of the question.
Yeah, and I think lastly, I must remind you, we're from different generations and we cannot sound like you. We cannot place our comments the way you want to hear it. It's difficult. I know some parents go overboard. I'm not one of them. I still speak within the confinement of my own generation, which may sound, you know how it sounds? It may have a hint of how I operate.
No, yeah, I think that's fine. I just think that like if your like daughter or son is telling you something about like how they would prefer you talk to them, you should just make like a more conscious effort to like do so.
Did I disagree? No. Let my daughter make a conscious effort to understand the way mommy is talking, not me to shape my own thought to work with hers. No.
You have to meet halfway. You have to meet halfway.
Yeah, we can meet halfway.
So negotiation table.
Like,
okay.
Yes.
Always like we end up being dismissed, and so it's like just like try not to dismiss their feelings. Thoughts.
And I'll tell you what. Let me throw it back at you now. That is what you expect from home. But when you go to work, there are procedures and policies at work. Because you want to keep a job and your generation love money, you tend to adhere. So why would you want it differently at home? But you listen to your manager boss you around and tell you how it should be. You don't bother about it. Go ahead.
I feel like with your parents, though, you're supposed to be able to be more open. It's not supposed to be like, you know, like a work type of relationship. Because when you're at work, that's your boss, you know. At the end of the day, the person that writes your paycheck, and, you know, you rely on them for, you know, to be able to be the
And your parent is your boss at home.
But okay, like no,
your parents are
your
caregivers.
Your give you a roof over your head.
Caregivers, your nurturers, and your teachers, not
Yes,
your boss at home.
that's true. That's true.
Yeah, this is Emeka Obasi. I just wanted to
Emeka,
say
go ahead,
something
yeah.
real quick. Yeah, I think
I'll write you a paycheck if you give me.
first of all, I just want to say we are hearing from the mothers and the daughters, right? I think there should be a conscientious effort to hear from the fathers too.
Go ahead.
What the kids are saying is this: we need to hear from them. Okay, we need to understand where they're coming from. We need to also consider their feelings. There's a different thing when we're operating in the work environment. There are rules, policies, guidance, and stuff like that, right? The other thing I want to mention, if you are in a workplace where your supervisor bosses you around, you need to report that to the supervisor. Your supervisor should not be bossing you around. That is one thing we need to speak up. Then the one thing I also hear from the kids, as their parents, we need to be their friends. They should be able to confide in us and feel free when they are with us to discuss their issues. And the other thing I have learned from my kids is that when I scold them, I tell them afterwards the reason why I'm scolding them, what they did, and why I reacted the way I reacted. I don't just leave them, sobbing and just ending up there without explaining to them the reason why I took the action that I took. So this is a different generation. For us that grew up in Nigeria, most of beating the hell and throw somewhere, and we get up, suck it up, and we became stronger. But for the Gen Z generation, especially those of them that are here, that cannot happen. If you do that, you're going to box the kid into a place where they can never come back again, and they will see their parents as monsters. We saw our parents as having good intention, beating the hell out of us, but we can't do that to you guys. But we want to be your friends. Want you guys to open up. If something happens to you, I tell my kids, if anybody, just feel free to talk to me. That way I know how to handle it and protect you. So I just want to summarize that we need to hear them out. We need to give them reasons why we took the actions that we took. We need to also consider their own suggestions and opinions. That's what they are saying about respecting them. Respecting them doesn't mean respecting them. It's just to hear their own point of view. That's all that I have. Thanks, guys.
All right, Papa Gen Z, thank you. And Maya, go ahead.
We actually have to go. Sorry, Mom.
All right, then. Thank you very much.
Thank
And thanks for bringing them in. Maya wants to say something to us, I guess.
Ejine, before you go, Ejine, hold on. Before you
wait,
go.
Antonia wants to say
Yeah. Ejine, did she leave? She already left. Okay, Ejine, you're still here. It's so funny that my daughter is here listening. So anytime Ejine speaks, she will scream exactly what I'm telling you, Mom. We all
bring the mama here. Bring the mama here to talk.
Mama is right here, and she will say, Mommy, this respect we're talking about is not that we don't respect you, but it's good that our feelings are also valid. She will always tell me that. We have feelings too. You need to put us into consideration when you are taking certain decision. And she will always tell me, it's okay to say you're sorry too, because you will earn more respect when you apologize. You must not train us the way your parents train you. You don't take accountability when you do anything wrong. So somebody is here cheering you, Ejine. Look, you want to say something?
No, Nonya, you don't say sorry. You don't apologize.
I do.
Okay.
Ejine, don't I say sorry?
Occasionally.
I don't.
Oh?
No, Mama and Nonya are exactly, Nonya, you and Mama are exactly
Don't say sorry,
I think Mama is tougher than you.
No, she says sorry now.
Goodbye. It's okay to change.
Sorry,
Yeah.
now?
We'll make it up with something
Yeah,
else.
because I spoke to her some time 2 years ago. Yeah.
We make it up with something else. Don't have to say sorry. We have other ways of saying
All
it.
right,
No,
guys, bye.
no.
Thanks, guys.
But you
Yeah.
want someone to tell you sorry. So why won't you say sorry?
Because they don't
Exactly.
even mean they're sorry. They will do the same
Like,
thing.
someone doesn't even care if it's yeah, sorry. Okay.
Anyway, let's we could sit back and talk some more. Let's go offline because we've been online for about an hour and 30 minutes now.
30 minutes. Yeah.
Not surprised. It's an interesting conversation. And IJ, thank you for bringing those Gen Zs in. I think
Thank you for Betsy for mentioning it, and I
it's
sent them
even
the link.
they
I thought my
have.
boys will come in. Though. Yeah.
I'm confident they represented the other Gen Zs in every region. So even Nigerian Gen Z will say the same thing. British Gen Z, several of them are talking the same thing.
No, I mean the boys. I
we-
wanted the boys to come in. But
We
I
know
guess they were
them.
busy.
We know what they're talking about, but they have to understand that we are not their generation. So they need to understand where we're coming from. Like Chris said, we're coming from a place of love. We are not being mean to them. We're trying to speak to them. We're trying to understand them and protect them. Ati mentioned it. During our own time, there wasn't so much going on. We could be out there. But now there's a lot. They're always there. So we need to know what is going on in their life. Dr. Chizo, clearly you've stated professionally, in today's professional world, there's a lot of mental health and how it affects children, especially this generation. What I tend to wonder is when they say they're prone to anxiety, does it mean genetically they're prone to anxiety or their lifestyle that is making them prone to anxiety? If it's the last time, those are things we're going to manage. Control, no matter how you think about it or look at it, control is important. I know people think control is negative. No. Control, there are measures of control. It's high-handedness or low medium. So there must be control in parenting, no matter how we look at it. So you must control your child at how it's required. Again, children, you have to, if you're listening to us, you really have to understand where we're coming from and why we need to protect you.
With love.
So much love. And going about mental health, when it starts...
And raising them is frustrating.
When it starts happening, it's affecting everybody. A child who goes into depression, it will affect the parents. It will affect family members, friends, and everyone. So it affects everybody. So we'll have to try to balance everything out. Thank you so much. It's been an interesting conversation today. We'll be here next time, same time next week with another interesting conversation.
Thank you, guys.
And thanks to everybody who's contributed. It's awesome. Have I learned? Will I put it in practice? I will try. Thank you very much. And we'll go offline, but stay tuned for further conversation.